Back in the rectory, this time in the kitchen, obviously. Yesterday, after the funeral, had a great walk around the neighborhood with the friends for some spiritual conversation, discernment, topic stuff, but that's not videoed because that's confidential for them. But pray for all people, young adult types especially, as they wrestle with where God is calling them in life. So after that great conversation, drove back to Weatherford, had a little bit of time around here, and then set up for and had the evening mass for St. John the Evangelist there at the parish. Had some really great young people excited to be servers and sacristans, really want to know how things worked. I'm going to actually go have dinner with them after mass tonight. This morning, though, I'm going to do a special project. I'm going to brew some beer. I'm not going to drink beer in the morning, but I'm going to brew some, to start the process at least. Something I do from time to time. I have my own recipe that I'm working on, but it's still a work in progress. So I'm going to use one out of a box. It is a porter, I think, some nice winter kind of beer. So first thing for this is lots of water. So I'm going to get the pots and get the water and get on the stove and get it sanitized. This pot is a 24 quart. Okay, so what we've got going so far is this big old bag of crushed grains here, which is basically, I'm going to use it like a tea bag. We're going to put it in this hot water over here once it gets to 150 or so, and then it's going to steep for 30 minutes and soak all of the complicated sugars out of this grain, the things that make the beer taste like it does, at least that's part of the taste is. So we'll put that in there, it'll steep for about half an hour, and then over here, this is sanitizer, put that in the water. And everything that gets used in the brewing process will be in here, will be dipped in there, sanitized so that we don't have anything we don't want growing in the beer. Okay, so the steeping water is at 150, 158, which is fine. And now it's time to steep the grains. Put your tools away. Okay, and since there's nothing to do while that does its thing, time to go pray morning prayer. I looked outside the kitchen window. Turns out we have snow. What a good time to go check the mail. The dog will come help. I mean, it's barely snowing. I don't think it's going to snow us in or anything, but surprise, what fun. Mail summary, bill, junk, and 2 Christmas cards. And now, having steeped for a while, has become the wort. Okay, so the steeping finished, and now then I brought it to a boil, now it's time to add the fancy sugar that goes in there. Well, there's sugar in the grain, now this is just kind of sugar, malt extract. They're different, somehow. While the beer to be is brewing inside for the next 36 minutes, I'm going to take some time to redo the roping on this wind guard that I put a few days ago. It's actually working really well, but I want to redo it a little bit better so it's more durable and long-lasting, and I have to look at it every time and make sure. It should be a lot better, just going to take more rope. Okay, so after the beer's gotten cooled off outside, brought it back in, siphoned it into this bucket where we'll do its fermentation, but it's only about up to here on the volume. There used to be about this much of it. It's really way too strong right now, so we're gonna water it down. But we get to do some fun science math to see how much it needs to be watered down. So after moving the foam out of the way with this sanitized spatula, I used what's called, I think, hygrometer. Basically, it measures the density. So you float this in there, and it floated right at 1.060, which, if I understand right, means that this liquid here is 6/100ths more dense than regular water would be, and that tells us about how much sugar is in there. As the yeast does its thing and makes the sugar into alcohol, that will change, and that's how we'll know what the ABV of this is. So now I get to do the science part of writing these things down so I know what they are, and put yeast in here and see how it turns out in a few weeks. And also give thanks that I got that right basically in one step, and kind of by guess got it just the right amount of water. So thanks be to God for that. Everything else has just been hobby work, but now it's time for the actual important work of the day. Setting up for Mass and having Mass here in a little bit. I always enjoy coming in and being the first one to turn the lights on. Normally it's not what I get to do, but today I get to, since all my sacristans are out on vacation. Well, I had thought that right now I would be sharing how I went to a great dinner with a family after the Holy Innocents Mass, because the kids of the family have been really enjoying being servers and kind of quasi-sacristans this week. But when I got back to the rectory, there was a call from a lady whose husband is in the hospital. So got to go do the sacrament of anointing and give him the prayers for the combination of the dying, which is not where I wanted to be this evening, but exactly where I needed to be this evening. Yes, it would have been good to be at dinner with the family, but to be at the hospital beside the bedside of someone who may be spending their last hours on this earth, that was definitely the blessed place to be, and a place that every priest feels blessed to be able to be. If you want to know what are the really special moments of being a priest, the other things I've been showing of recreational stuff and other sort of more fun parts of priest life, all that pales in comparison to getting to be with people in the most critical moments, to share with them the grace of God, especially when the time of life comes close to an end, to pray for those who are dying and to pray with those who may be left behind, giving the grace and comfort of God to all. So let's give thanks for that, for the grace, the sacraments of the church that we can come give to those who are in difficult situations, and rejoice. I rejoice all the time in the whole priestly life, because it is so beautiful, and I'm so thankful for it. Even in the expected down times between Christmas and New Year's, there's so many wonderful priestly things getting to go on that I'm blessed so often. So I'm blessed so constantly to be a part of this wonderful life.